the awareness that each new game could signal the beginning of the end. At the center of this transition stands Steve Kerr, the coach who turned an inconsistent team into a symbol of excellence and who now faces, calmly, the uncertainty of his own future. His contract is entering its final year, yet neither he nor the front office seem concerned. General Manager Mike Dunleavy Jr. was clear. The decision will be made on Steve's own timeline. There is no pressure, only respect for a partnership that redefined modern basketball. Dunleavy's words carry a double meaning. They express trust, but also acknowledge the inevitable wear of time. At 59, Kerr has learned to treat every season as a new mental and physical challenge. For him, haste is the enemy of clarity. He prefers to immerse himself completely in the present before speaking of renewal. The coach knows that longevity in such a relentless league depends not only on results but on purpose, and that he has not lost. There is a quiet understanding between Kerr and the front office. The cycle may be approaching a crossroads, but it will be Kerr himself who decides when the journey ends. Dunleavy reinforced this by declaring that Steve holds unlimited credit within the organization. In his words, he can stay as long as he wants. It is more than institutional courtesy. It is recognition of a legacy intertwined with the Warriors' very DNA. Since 2014, the coach has amassed over 560 victories, 4 championships, and an influence that transcends the sport. His system of constant movement and intelligent spacing has become a global standard. The emotional bond between Kerr and Curry is the thread holding this balance together. Dunleavy was honest in admitting that it is hard to imagine Steph finishing his career without Steve on the bench. That symbiosis shaped the team's identity. Kerr gave the point guard the freedom to express his genius within a collective framework. In return, Curry became the emblem of the selfless basketball that conquered the world. For this reason, as long as both remain motivated, the franchise feels secure. But the looming question is different. What comes next? Kerr's patience and the front office's prudence contrast with the fans' restlessness. The public knows that every season feels like an epilogue. Even if the coach maintains his enthusiasm, the roster no longer has the same freshness. The league has evolved, defenses have adapted, and the Warriors' style must be reinvented again. This challenge fuels the doubt. How long can the project continue evolving without becoming a repetition of itself? Inside the organization, discussions are honest. Management wants to remain competitive while the veteran core still has breath, but without compromising the future. Young players like Jonathan Kuminga, Brandon Podziemski, and Brazilian forward Gui Santos symbolize this bridge between eras. They carry not only the hope of technical continuity, but also the symbolic weight of succession. They are the faces being prepared for the day Curry hangs up his jersey and Kerr decides to rest. Even so, Golden State's philosophy remains intact: play with intelligence, rhythm, and harmony. The season will serve as both test and tribute. Every game will be a reminder of what was built and a rehearsal for what is to come. Dunleavy has already made it clear that the focus is twofold: to compete for titles now while building the foundation for tomorrow. The challenge is to do this without breaking the legacy that defined the team. For now, Kerr remains fully in control, aware that his presence is still the point of stability amid an ocean of change. The mutual respect between coach and management means there is no tension, only observation. Kerr will evaluate his own weariness and the team's performance before making any decision. It is a gesture of maturity that reinforces his image as a balanced leader. If he decides to continue, it will be because he still finds joy in the process. If he chooses to stop, it will be because he knows the cycle has fulfilled its purpose. In both scenarios, the Warriors will be ready to support him. Amid this transition, one name stands out as a sign of the future: Gui Santos. The 22-year-old Brazilian has earned his place in the NBA through perseverance and talent, and Golden State has recognized it. The contract renewal was straightforward and drama-free. The forward revealed that the process was simple because of the mutual affection between him and the franchise. Drafted by the Warriors, Gui was patient, seized every opportunity, and became part of the rotation. Now, he reaps the rewards. The two-way contract signed in 2023 allowed the youngster to alternate between the main team and the G League. It was an intense learning period during which he improved defensively and gained confidence on offense. His solid performances drew attention and secured the contract extension. The team exercised its option to keep him in San Francisco for another season, with a salary of $2.22 million, more than double his initial figure. It is proof that the Warriors' internal development project still works. Gui represents something greater than his own rise. He embodies the quiet rebirth of a franchise that knows it must prepare heirs without haste. Every minute on the court is an investment in tomorrow. The presence of a Brazilian in this system also reinforces the global dimension the team has reached since Kerr took charge. The Warriors' style became a universal language, and Gui now speaks it fluently. During the off-season, the team remained discreet in the market. The front office preferred targeted adjustments, focusing on consistency and chemistry. Beyond the renewals of Gui and center Quinton Post, the Warriors added Al Horford and Seth Curry, and secured the returns of Jonathan Kuminga, DeAnthony Melton, and Gary Payton II. It was not a noisy transfer window, but it was efficient. For Gui, the approach made sense. Management already had the plan mapped out and executed each move with precision. Gui explained that despite some fans criticizing the apparent delay in signings, the locker room stayed calm. The group trusted the front office and knew the right pieces were being fitted together. Once the roster was complete, the overall feeling was satisfaction. For him, the result of the off-season was one of the best in recent years. This internal perception is vital. It shows that the atmosphere remains healthy and that the locker room still believes in Kerr's leadership and management's vision. Guy's salary increase also reflects recognition of his effort and faith in his growth potential. In 2 years, his pay has nearly tripled, a rare rise for an international player still developing. More than numbers, it mirrors the confidence the staff places in him. The Brazilian's continuity coincides with the team's search for new voices on the court. The young players must learn from the veterans while there is still time, and Guy is one of those bridges. Golden State's long-term project is in full reconfiguration. It is not just about renewing contracts, but rewriting the culture for the next decade. Even if Kerr eventually departs, his tactical and human legacy will continue guiding the group. The young players have already been shaped by this framework of quick reads, constant movement, and collective play. Even when the idols leave, the system will endure, and that is what keeps the franchise relevant. Balancing past and future is the greatest challenge. Curry and Green remain under contract until 2026-27, but management knows that the reconstruction period is approaching. The question is no longer if, but when. In this context, players like Gui gain strategic value. They represent the continuity of the Warriors' spirit, but with the energy of a new generation. This transition will not be abrupt, but gradual, a passing of the torch carried out with the same intelligence that made the team a global reference. As the roster renews, Kerr's legacy solidifies as its compass. He is the architect of a style that taught the world to play differently. His philosophy goes far beyond three-point shooting. It is about trust, movement, and connection. Kerr understands basketball as a conversation between minds, and that is why his method endures even as the protagonists change. Behind the scenes, this mentality has permeated the entire organization. The coaching staff, analysts, and even the G League youngsters are trained under the same logic. The Golden State of the coming years will be the result of that model. It will not be a replica, but a natural evolution. Dunleavy wants to preserve what works while introducing new layers of complexity. The future will demand a more physical, more vertical game, and the arrivals of players like Al Horford reflect that. Experience, vision, and leadership, ingredients that sustain a smooth transition. Kerr oversees this shift with the calm of someone who knows that lasting success relies on continuity, not revolution. Even so, a sense of melancholy lingers in the air. Fans can feel that the era of glory is nearing its end. The memories of championships still echo, but time moves forward. Every Kerr interview sounds like a possible farewell. Every Curry game carries the weight of history. The franchise tries to balance emotion with pragmatism. The love for its heroes is immense, but sport does not forgive those who fear the future. The Golden State Warriors walk a delicate path, preserving memory without being trapped by it. Each season is a mirror where the past reflects clearly, but also a window open to the unknown. Steve Kerr understands this paradox better than anyone. He was the man who turned talent into system and system into culture. Now, he must use that same clarity to orchestrate a metamorphosis that keeps the team's spirit alive even after the inevitable fall of the curtain. Behind the scenes, the guiding phrase is controlled transition. Nothing will be done impulsively. The plan involves observing how the roster will respond physically and emotionally to another year of high demands. Draymond Green, with his uncontainable energy and vocal leadership, remains the team's thermometer, while Stephen Curry carries the flame that still inspires everyone around him. The coach knows he must extract the maximum from this veteran core without wearing it out. The balance is fragile, maintaining competitiveness while quietly preparing new protagonists. Kerr's future is tied to this equation. If the season shows that the group is still capable of fighting for something big, renewal will be a natural step. Otherwise, the coach may prefer to end the cycle on a high, leaving at the height of dignity. He has never been driven by vanity, and that's what makes him unpredictable. The decision will come from instinct, not politics. For Kerr, staying is less important than ensuring the essence he built remains intact. The executives understand this. Dunleavy has repeated internally that the team cannot force an artificial continuation. The relationship between coach and franchise is based on trust, not contracts. If Kerr wants to stay, the doors will be open. If he wants to leave, the same doors will be open. This posture reflects the institutional maturity of an organization that has learned to think in decades, not seasons. While the world's eyes focus on the big names, a silent story grows stronger in the locker room. Gui Santos is not just a Brazilian promise in the NBA, he is a symbol of disciplined renewal. His journey mirrors the model the Warriors want to perpetuate: patient development, technical evolution, and collective identity. Every minute of playing time earned is a product of merit, not marketing. And that carries weight in a franchise built on meritocracy. Life under Kerr has been a masterclass in maturity. The coach values players who understand the system and respect the collective flow. Gui quickly learned to move without the ball, defend multiple positions, and choose his shots wisely. This evolution has made him reliable, a word that holds more value than brilliance in Golden State. His pay rise is a direct consequence of that credibility. The Warriors are betting on him as part of a core that will sustain the team after the veteran's departure. The Brazilian also represents an emotional link to the franchise's future. His presence reinforces the international dimension of the project. Golden State has become a global showcase, and Gui proves that the team's cultural impact has crossed borders. His growth is closely followed by a legion of Brazilian fans who see in him a direct connection to their dream. It is a story of persistence within a dynasty that, even as it changes shape, continues to inspire. Off the court, Golden State operates as an organization in calculated mutation. Management works along two parallel lines, keeping the team competitive in the short term and building the foundation for the future without rupture. Investing in young, versatile players like Jonathan Kuminga and Brandon Podziemski is part of that plan. Both have grown under Kerr's demanding eye and now must prove they can shoulder the weight of a jersey filled with history. The arrival of Al Horford and Seth Curry reinforces this balance between youth and experience. They bring stability and tactical knowledge while helping to mentor the younger players. They are not headline-grabbing names, but they consolidate systems. Dunleavy's philosophy is clear: less spectacle, more coherence. He knows that in an era dominated by super teams and explosive contracts, the secret to longevity lies in continuity. Gui Santos understands this logic well. When speaking about the offseason, he made it clear that the group wasn't shaken by the delay in signings. There was confidence in the process. The players knew every move was part of a larger design. This calm is the result of an established culture, something Kerr has cultivated with precision. Even when results fluctuate, the Warriors maintain their sense of purpose. That's the difference between an ordinary team and an institution. What sustains Golden State is not only talent, but a shared philosophy. Since Kerr took over, the team has been built on three pillars: trust, movement, and selflessness. These principles became permanent, regardless of personnel. And it is precisely this foundation that allows the franchise to go through transitions without losing identity. Every new player is inserted into this ecosystem and gradually absorbs the collective mindset. Curry is the guardian of that culture on the court. Even as years pass, his enthusiasm remains intact. He plays not just to win, but to keep alive the style of play that defined him. Kerr's presence on the bench is an extension of that purpose. That's why the coach's possible departure is treated with such delicacy. It's not merely a technical issue, but a symbolic one. It would mark the end of an era that united beauty and efficiency in rare harmony. Yet the team does not fear tomorrow. The structure Kerr built and Dunleavy maintains ensures that transition will be organic. Assistants, analysts, and young players already operate under the same tactical language. Even if a new coach eventually takes over, the skeleton of the system will remain. This continuity is the Warriors' true triumph, not depending on one man, but on a vision that transcends individuals. The new season begins with an ambiguous feeling, awareness that the peak is behind, yet pride in remaining competitive. Kerr approaches each game as a chance to reaffirm the team's identity, not just to win. What is at stake now is not a trophy, but the preservation of a legacy. And paradoxically, that legacy may only be fully solidified when he decides to leave. If Kerr's cycle ends after this season, it will be a dignified conclusion. He will leave not only 4 titles, but a philosophy that will guide the team for years. His figure stands among the coaches who changed the game, not only through success, but through the way they taught others to win. Golden State will become, in truth, the purest reflection of his mind, adaptable, intelligent, and collective. Meanwhile, Gui Santos and the young players keep training, absorbing lessons, and shaping the future. They are the living bridge between the golden past and the rising generation. With each practice, each touch of the ball, the spirit of the glory years still echoes, not as nostalgia, but as guidance. Because the end of an era for the Warriors has never meant the end of greatness. It has only meant preparation for the next way to keep winning. Kai returned to the court with an impressive performance, reaffirming his status as one of the most promising talents in Asian basketball. In a recent game against Kyoto, he delivered a spectacular performance, scoring 20 points, grabbing 4 rebounds, and dishing out 3 assists. These numbers not only stand out in the stats, but also showcase the constant evolution of a player who becomes more complete with each game. From the first minute, it was clear he was ready to shine. Combining height, agility, and technical skills, he dominated the paint, leaving opposing defenders without answers. His mid-range shots were sharp, a reflection of the continuous effort he dedicates to improving his game. Moreover, his court vision became evident in decisive moments, distributing assists and connecting his teammates in important plays. When the game reached its most tense moments, Kai took responsibility, showing leadership and composure. In the third quarter, he made a memorable play by dribbling past 2 defenders, converting a crucial basket, and hitting the free throw after being fouled. Plays like this not only excite the crowd, but also highlight his ability to perform under pressure, a key trait for any player with ambitions of reaching the NBA. His fans have plenty of reasons to be excited. Kai is about to hit historic milestones in the B-League. With just 76 points remaining to reach 1,000 career points, he is approaching a select group of players known for their offensive consistency. Additionally, he has already surpassed 500 rebounds, establishing himself as a dominant presence in the paint on both offense and defense. He not only protects the painted area with authority, but also creates crucial second-chance opportunities for his team. Another important achievement is nearing. He is just 4 assists away from reaching 100 assists in the league. This reinforces his ability to create opportunities and involve his teammates in strategic plays. These numbers directly reflect the impact Kai brings to the court. His combination of imposing physicality, technical ability, and tactical intelligence makes him one of the most complete players in the league. Every point, rebound, and assist brings him closer not only to records but also to the dream of playing in the NBA. His performance has caught the attention of analysts and commentators who already consider him a player capable of raising the competitive level of the B-League. Comparisons with great past big men are starting to emerge, highlighting his potential to leave a legacy in international basketball. But for Kai, more than statistics or records, the important thing is to keep evolving and making his mark in every game. Kai Sotto's future has been one of the most debated topics among fans and experts, and one of the most mentioned destinations for him in the NBA is the Golden State Warriors. The franchise's fans have already started a campaign on social media asking for his signing, believing he could be the missing piece to strengthen the team. The Warriors are known for their fast and dynamic style of play, with an emphasis on long-distance shooting and constant movement. However, one of the team's weak points has been the lack of a dominant presence in the paint, someone who can protect the defensive area, grab rebounds, and bring balance to the team. Kai fits exactly that profile. His impressive height and game-reading ability are characteristics that could transform the Warriors' performance. Moreover, his international experience, facing different styles of basketball around the world, makes him an interesting prospect for a franchise looking to refresh its roster without sacrificing competitiveness. For the Warriors, signing Kai would represent a low-risk, high-potential move. He has already demonstrated his ability to contribute both defensively and offensively, being an efficient finisher near the basket and constantly improving his mid-range shot. Combining this with his competitive mindset and dedication to improvement, he would fit well into the team's system. The fans are excited about this possibility, knowing that players with Kai's skill set and potential are rare. For many, he could be exactly what the team needs to get back to competing for the top spot in the NBA. If you like the content, leave a like to support the channel and subscribe if you haven't already. Turn on the notification bell so you don't miss anything about the Warriors. Thanks, and see you in the next video.